On this edition of R&B Reviews, we're going to be reviewing Extract. It was directed by Mike Judge, who previously directed Office Space and created Beavis and Butthead, as well as King of the Hill. And it stars Jason Bateman as a manager and the founder of a company that makes extracts. And it's basically about his everyday life. He has a neighbor who annoys him. Some of his co-workers are nuts and they bother him, and he's in the middle of a potential lawsuit, and there's a gigolo who is in love with his wife, so it's pretty much a comedy somewhat based in reality. So it was definitely a funny movie. I gotta say that this movie was well casted. This movie has Ben Affleck in a semi-cameo role as his friend who's trying to hatch this plot for Jason Bateman's character of Joel because he wants to have an affair with a co-worker, but in order to do that, the bartender thinks he should get his wife to cheat first somehow, and that was a good part. And JK Simmons as the assistant manager was very good. This was a well-casted picture, I must say.
Yeah, the casting was perfect, but I'm a big Mike Judge fan, and I thought this movie was just terrific. It had a lot of things in there you'd recognize from his movies, and it feels like the characters are out of, like, some of the characters at least are from, like, out of King of the Hill, and some of them are from, like, out of Office Space.
Yeah, it felt like they were out of real life, because I work at a store, and a lot of these workers in the movie reminded me of a lot of the people that I work with every day.
Particularly with how they're complaining and stuff like that, and there's the one guy who's obsessed with his band, always sending out flyers, telling people to go see his band.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I thought it was very well written, and it's not like the Hangover kind of comedy where, you know, there's a lot of gags, but, you know, it's really funny, almost raunchy.
It's not over the top. It's more subtle.
Yeah, the humor is very subtle in this, and some parts kind of sneak up onto you. And there's one sequence I absolutely love in the movie where they get Ben Affleck's character takes Jason Bateman's character over to his pot smoking buddy's house to get him high, and it's like his buddy is like the worst person in the world that someone would want to get high with. He's just completely insane.
Yeah, that was probably the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
It got the biggest laugh in the whole theater.
I loved it.
Yeah, this movie, I think comedy is at its best when there's some ground in reality, which is maybe why I didn't quite enjoy Labor Pains, because one of the posters on that Labor Pains review I did said that, well, it doesn't have to take place in reality. It's a comedy, but comedy is much stronger if there's something you can relate to. Like in this case,
exactly.
You know, the people around you are idiots, or they're bothering you, or there's some problems on your hand, and you know, it felt like, you know, these people felt like, from the way they talk, from the way they dress, it felt like real people. It didn't.
Yeah, Mike Judge is very good at making, you know, real life situations, you know, almost funny, and it seems like you're almost from the outside looking in at, you know, something very relatable. And this movie I thought was very relatable with the characters, the situations, and I really felt all the people in there could be real people.
Definitely.
They all spoke like it, they all had their own unique characteristics, but they weren't over the top. And he said it's not an over the top movie at all.
No, it is not. It's very subtle, and, you know, so, you know, the summer blockbusters, or the summer movie season, I should say, is ending. You know, I think it ended on a good note. Extract was a very funny movie. It was definitely different, and I would definitely recommend this movie. It's like I said, to me, it's very realistic, and like we said, that it's like these are like real people that you could probably work with at your job or something like that.
Yeah. And it's something we would really describe or pigeonhole to like one specific plot point, but, you know, Jason Bateman's great in it. I loved him in Arrested Development. And he just continues to do really good movies, really good roles, and this is one of them. And Ben Affleck, I don't think has been this funny since I can't really think of a Ben Affleck movie I really laughed at a lot, unless it was something in Kevin Smith's movies, but he does a really good job in this, and
he's very well cast.
Gene Simmons is in there in a small cameo kind of role as pretty much the world's scummiest lawyer.
Yeah. This was one problem I had with this movie. Well, it's not a problem, but what I would like to have seen more of is more scenes at the factory. Like, I wanted to get to know these people even more. Like, there's one point where Jason Bateman's deciding whether or not to sell the company, and everyone's afraid of losing their jobs. You know, I wanted to see more of that. I mean, yeah, we have to go through his personal...
See, I was just fine with it, because I felt if he made another workplace movie, it'd end up, some people would think it's just a copycat of Office Space, and it's not at all.
Well, no, but I wanted to see more of it, because, I mean, yeah, we do have to go through his personal life. He's got problems with his wife. There's a coworker he's in love with, and he's trying to set up an affair with, and then there's the subplots with his buddy and trying to arrange a gigolo for this. I mean, there's different subplots, but yet I felt like I really wanted to see much more at the workplace, because I felt that was where I felt the most relatable to out of the whole movie.
I can understand that, but the biggest laughs came from the scenes that took place outside the workplace. I mean, I really like the subtle humor in there, especially with JK Simmons introducing the two interns, and he remembers the hot girl's name, but he doesn't remember the other guy.
Yeah, he keeps saying, what's his name, and the dink lady, and genius boy, and all this. And Jason Bateman's like, you really should know these people's names. Oh, this movie's got a lot of good punchlines, like, and just about every scene ends with a very good punchline. Like one scene where Ben Affleck's character is introducing Jason Bateman to the potential gigolo to set this affair up with. That ended with probably my favorite punchline in the whole movie. Bateman is not quite thinks the gigolo's a moron, and Affleck's like, well, what do you expect? He's a whore.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was great. I really loved that.
And he was a particularly great character too, Brad the gigolo.
Yeah, this was a real fun movie, and I would definitely say see this in theaters. It's
so would I. It's really fun. It's subtle humor. If you really like Mike Judge's stuff, like Office Space, King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead, you're gonna like this just as much.
Yeah, it's not over the top. There's not too much toilet humor. There is some sex humor, of course, but
And that's what I like about Mike Judge is he's got subtle humor that's just I love it all the time.
Yeah.
And this movie, I say see it.
Yeah, I definitely say to see this movie in theaters too. So. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and also post any comments you have if you have seen the movie, or any feedback or suggestions. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next edition of R&B Reviews.